Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 11 of Angular CLI. In this part 11, we will describe how to create and import module in Angular CLI. So I'll suggest you before going through this part 11, please visit my part 10 of Angular CLI, that is how to generate and register service using Angular CLI. So you can get this video in my playlist called Angular CLI tutorial. So in this part 11, what we describe, so what is module in Angular CLI, how to generate and import module in Angular CLI, know about different options with module generation. So in this part 11, also we describe how to generating modules using the Angular CLI. So before that, I need to open the command prompt as a administrator mode, and I'll map to my physical directory of my Angular CLI project, and I open this project using Visual Studio Code. And this project I already have used in my Angular CLI tutorial, so you can refer that whatever files and folders has been changed till now. So to generate a module, we use one command called ng-generate module name, or ng space m and module name. So for example, we need to generate a Satya module. We use this command called ng, g for generate, m for module, and the module name I put here as Satya. Alright, and I put here -d. This is the dry run. So it will report these files and folders has been affected in this project. So I just click enter here. Or you can also, instead of, this is the alias of generate, g for generate and m for module, instead you can also mention here ng generate module and module name is Satya and -d instead of we mention your dry run flag. I already have described this what is dry run flag in my previous videos. You can go through that. You can go through all these videos. This is all relevant and related with each other. So before going through that, you should go through from 1 to 10, and you will get what is the real motto of this video, and what are the difference between, and what are the relationship between these videos. So after successful executing, whatever output it will be shown, just it is a dry run flag. That's why it is not any changes were made, right? In the node section you have seen here. So if I'll remove this dry run flag, it will create this folder called Satya, and inside you will create another file called satya.module.ts. It is the module, Satya module. Alright. So please note, since we are using the dry run flag, the module file and folder is not actually created. We only get the report of the files and folders that will be created. So the above command generates the Satya module inside the Satya folder. And remember, for us to be able to use this newly generated module, we must import it in the root module. So you remember in the last video, while we generate the service, we should register this service. Otherwise we cannot use this service across the application. The same way, while we generate this module, we should import this module, right, in the root module file. So we must import it in the root module. Also we can do it manually after creating the module, or we can tell Angular CLI to import our newly created module into the root module using -- module option, or we can use its alias -m, right? So I'll show you manually here, and after then I'll show you how to create the automatic. So before that, I'll import this module here. So I'll just create this model, right? So I just remove this dry run flag. So I just click enter. So you can see here my module is successfully created because I removed this dry run flag. So I will go to my project here, and here you can see that one Satya folder is created. Okay, so I'll just go here. So it is the path, that is the main demo CLI. Yeah. So inside Satya folder, you can see that in the Satya folder there is one file is created, satya module.ts, right? So here you can see that this is the structure of modules in the Angular CLI. So I need to import this module in app.module.ts. So it is required. So what is the command is what is the code is? So import, and I'll mention here Satya module. Okay, Satya module here, and from I'll mention here this path, right? So Satya module.ts. So from uh, dot slash that is the you can see this example, that is Satya folder and the Satya dot module, right? So I'll mention the same thing here. So this is Satya and this folder name, and inside that we'll mention here Satya dot module. You can see here this is already populated. So Satya dot module I'll mention here, right? So in this way we have, after then I put here semicolon, and in this way we will import the Satya module here, and we need to uh, add this Satya module. So it is the, I'll just copy this one. So Satya module, you can see here populated, right? So after then I just copy this Satya module here, and I'll go to imports array, and here I put comma here and put my module name, that is Satya module, right? So here if I'll see in the satya.module.ts, so it is the export class Satya module, right? So the same module we need to import, we have imported in our app.module.ts file, and after then I have added the Satya module inside the imports array, that is the Satya module. So we can add multiple modules inside the imports array. And for services we have remembered that is the after import the service, we have for registering service we have added this service name inside the providers array, but this for module we need to add this inside the imports array, right? This Satya module. Okay, so we have done it manually, how to generate the module and how to import inside the app.module.ts manually. I'll show you how to do it by the Angular CLI without doing it manually. So this command is ng for generate m for module, and the customer is the module name. Alright, and I'll mention here the hyphen dash m equal to app dot module. So it will generate the module, as well as it will add this module name inside of the root module file, that is the app.module.ts. So I will click enter here. So this command not only generates the customer module, it also imports it into the root module, that is the app module, right, or app.module.ts file inside here. So we'll see whether this module has been generated automatically or not, or added, or automatically added to this app.module.ts. So we'll check here after once the command will be executed successfully. Here you can see that my module is created, customer.module.ts, and the app.module.ts is updated with this command, with this file name. So I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. Here you can see one customer folder is created and this customer.module.ts file, and I'll go to this file, module file. So you can see this content of this module file. This module name is customer module, and I'll check here whether it is imported or not. So here you can see that my module is automatically added inside the app.module.ts file with the imports code, and also my customer module has been added inside the import section. So by using this command, Angular CLI has generated the customer module, also import this module inside the app.module.ts, and after then it has added this customer module inside the imports array. So I have done it without doing the manually. So Angular CLI has done for me. Alright. So the next one is by default a routing module is not generated, right? For that, when we create the modules. So here you can see when you generate a module, only one file has been created, that is the customer.module.ts. So by default here routing module is not generated. If you want a routing file to be generated, use the command, right? So I'll show you here. This command will be, that is ng g and m for module, and I will mention here the name of this module name. It is called industry, or ind industry, right? And this command will be import my module inside the app module. So sm equal to app.module here, and dash dash routing equal to true. So it will create a routing file for me along with the module file, right? So nggm module name is industry, and it will add to my app module root module file, import this module. After then it will also generate with the routing file, right? So by default it is not generated, that the routing file. It will generate with this command called dash dash routing equal to true along with the module command, right? So after then I'll click enter here. So guys, here you can notice my industry module is created, and it also imports inside the app.module.ts. Along with that, also one new file has been created. It is called industry-routing.module.ts. It is the routing file. So if I'll go to my Visual Studio Code, here you can see two files has been generated. One is industry.module.ts and another one is industry-routing.module.ts. And also this command is imports this industry module inside the app.module.ts, along with this module name also added inside the import section automatically. So here you can see industry module, right? Alright, so if I'll make it false, then the routing model will not be generated. So I'll show you here. So if I'll put here false, it is by default the routing file will not be generated, but also I'll show you by making it false. So I'll just put here the dry run flag to show a report here, or I mention here industry 1, right? So I just click enter here. So here guys, you can see industry1.module.ts, and the routing file is not created because I make it false this using this routing function option, and my app.module.ts is updated with this module name. So if I'll go to here, and here you can see that industry1.module.ts file, and industry1 is imported inside the app.module.ts file, and it also added inside the imports array, right? So my next one is, when we generating a module, Angular CLI by default creates a folder for this module and places the module files in that folder, including module file and routing module file, everything there. If you don't want a dedicated folder for this module, you are generating using -- flat option, right? So I'll show you, and I'll want to create another module file called industry2. I need to import and -- routing equal to false, and I'll show you another command, another options called flat. So if I'll mention here flat equal to true, then it will not create this folder of that same module name. For example, industry1, so it will create one folder called industry1. If I'll make it -- flat equal to true, then industry1 not create its own folder. Instead, it will be created inside this app folder, right? So I'll click here, enter here. So this is the work of -- flat option in Angular CLI. Guys, here you can see my industry module is created, but it not created its own folder. Instead, it has been created inside this app folder. So if I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here, I just compress this one. I'll go to my app folder here. Right here inside app folder, one industry2 module.ts is created. Right here you can see, and also this industry.module.ts has been imported inside this import section, and also inside the imports array in app.module.ts file. So it has not been created in its own folder called industry2. Instead, it has been created inside this app folder. one last command I need to use, that we need to create a module name with all these options. So the module name should be bill, and it will be to the app.module.ts file, that is imports, and I want to create a routing file, and I also want its own dedicated folder. So I make it as false. So G for generate, M for module, bill is the module name, and hyphen M equal to app.module, dash dash routing equal to true, dash dash flat equal to false. So I will click enter here. So please notice my module is created, that is the bill.module.ts, and I make it routing equal to true. That's why another file has been created, bill-routing.module.ts, and I make it flat equal to false, so it will create its own folder called bill. So these two files has been created under this folder, that is the bill folder, and it also imports inside the app.module.ts file, right? So if I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here, so here one build folder is created, and inside my two files has been created. So I'll show you the content of these two files. So if I'll go to build.module.ts, this is the module file. So here you can see that is the import bill routing module. So it is the routing file, right? So if I'll go to bill-routing.module, it is the routing file content, right? So, and if I'll go to its module file, respected module file, so inside the module file, it imports its own routing file, that is the bill routing module, from this .bill-routing.module. This is this one, right? And also it imports its own routing file inside the imports array. And same way the routing file has been imported inside the app.module.ts file, and this module has been added inside the imports array in the app.module.ts file, right? So when we generate only the module file, then there is no routing file of that respected module, then there is no import section you can see in other module files. So for bill, it has its own routing file, that's why it imports its own routing file and it adds the routing module inside the imports array, as well as the same bill module has been imported inside the app.module.ts file, and Angular CLI also adds this bill module inside the imports array. So in this way we can generate the module and import this module, and also we have generated the routing file of that particular module, and Angular CLI also will do the same thing, that it will import this routing module in its own module file, and also it will add this module inside the imports array. Okay, now I'll go to my presentation here. So what is modules in Angular CLI? Angular applications are modular, and Angular has its own modularity system called ng modules. They can contain component service providers and other files whose scope is defined by the containing ng module. So guys, I'll show you how to show this ng module. So inside app.module.ts file, if you scroll up, you can see one import section has been added. It is by default has been added inside the app.module.ts by the Angular CLI. You can see here that is the ng module, right? So this is the ng module, what we have described here. So every Angular application has at least one ng module class, the root module, which is conventionally named app module, and it resides a file named app.module.ts. So this import section, you can see ng module it has been added inside the app.module.ts file. So module in Angular refers to a place where you can group the content, components, directives, pipes and services which are related to the application. In case you are developing a website, the header, footer, left and center and the right section become part of a module. So to define module, we can use the ng module, right? So how to generate module in Angular CLI? To command is ng generate module name, or the alias you can mention ngg for generate, m for module and the module name. So how to import modules in Angular CLI? We can do it manually by adding import component of module in app.module.ts file. For example, the module name is company module, so import company module from company/company.module. And make this module name as part of imports array. So we have added this module name inside import section or imports array. So we can tell Angular CLI to import our newly generated module into the root module using -- module option. We can also use its alias -m. The following command not only generates the module, student module or company module, it also imports it into the root module called app module. So this command ng for generate, m for module, driver module and write_on_flag and the -m equal to app.module. So it will not only generate this module file, it also imports this module into the root module, that is the app module. So this command not only creates the driver module, it also imports it into the root module, that is the app module. If we look into app.module.ts file, we have noticed that the required import statement to import driver module is included, and the driver module is also included into the imports array. So different flag options with module generation. So -- flag equal to false. It means when we generating a module, Angular CLI by default creates a folder for the module and places the module files in that folder. So ng for generate, m for module, driver the module name and write_on_flag, -m equal to app.module and -- flag equal to false. And the write_on means the module file and folder is not actually created. We only get the report of these files and folders that will be created. So this command is ng for generate, m for module, driver is the module name and the write_on_flag or the alias is -d. And to how to creating a routing module, so -- routing equal to true, it is the option I already have shown you. This is for creating a routing module. So ng for generate, m for module, driver is the module name and -d the write_on_flag and -- routing equal to true. It will create a routing module for that specific module file. This is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the up-to-date knowledge on .NET, .NET Core, Angular CLI, MVC, C#, SQL Server, DevOps and GitHub. What we have described in this video, that is what is module in Angular CLI, how to generate and import module in Angular CLI in two ways, manually and automatically by Angular CLI, and what are the different options with module generations. So that's it for today guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.